Hello students, welcome back to the video again. So we are just continuing the word problems of the quadratic equations exercise 8.4 of Vedanta Axel, page number 186 today. Okay, so recently we just started the creative section B. Okay, so now we are in 15A today, so we are going to do 15A. Okay, let's see. Okay, you can see the questions there. 15A. Mrs. Mugger brought us certain kilograms of vegetables for rupees 120 last week. This is about last week. Okay, we don't know the how much kilograms of vegetables she had brought for how much rupees. We don't know. The cost per kg also we don't know, and the how many kilograms he brought, that is also unknown. So this week, the rate of the cost of vegetable decreased by 20. Now this week, compared to last week, this week the rate of the cost of the vegetables decreased by 20 rupees 20 per kg, and she can buy 1 kg more vegetables. Since the cost of the per kg uh, cost is decreased by 20 rupees, now she can afford 1 kg more vegetables for the same amount of money. With this 120 rupees, she can afford 1 kg more than last week what she had brought. Okay, now what was the rate of cost of vegetables last week? Now the rate of the vegetables per kg last week, what was the cost? Okay, that has been asked. And in double I questions, by what percent is the rate of cost of the vegetables decrease? Now first let's solve this. What was the rate of the cost of vegetables last week? Let the cost of vegetables last week be rupees X. Okay, then she brought how many kg, we don't know. She brought y kg of vegetables. Okay, let the cost of vegetables last week be rupees X per kg. Let the cost of vegetables last week be rupees X per kg. And then she brought BROUGST brought y kg of vegetables for rupees 120. So with this 120 rupees, she brought y kg of vegetables costing X per kg. X per kg. So each kg cost rupees X. Then what will be the equation? So X times y, that is equals to rupees 120, or we can simply write xy is equals to 120. So this is I. So now this week, the rate of the cost of vegetables decreased by 20. So X is the rate of cost. Okay, so rate of cost decreased by 20, and she brought 1 kg more. So she brought y kg last week. Now she can afford 1 kg more this week. Okay, 1 kg more this week by the same amount. That is 120. Now you simplify. This becomes xy minus xy plus x minus 20y minus 20 is equals to, this becomes 120. So xy, replace the value of xy by 120 from I, and x minus 20. So from here you can further write, from this you can further write xy is equals to 120 and y is equals to 120 by x. Okay, you can further write this. So substitute the value of y by 120 divided by x. 120 divided by x minus 20 is equals to 120. Okay, now 120 you can cancel that. Now this becomes x minus, this becomes 2400 divided by x minus 20 is equals to 0. So the reason behind that substituting this one is, you can write here from I, this y is equals to 120 by x is also from the same equation I, and xy equals to 120 also from the same equation I. So now you simplify this, take LCM x. So x, this becomes x square minus 2400 minus 20x equals to 0. When x get multiplied to 0, it becomes 0. X square minus 2400 minus 20x is equals to 0, or x square minus 20x minus 2400 equals to 0. Now you just factorize that part. Okay, factorize that part. Okay, 60 times 40, 2400, 60 minus 40, that will be 60 minus 40, that will be 20, or x square minus 60 minus 40, 2400 equals to 0, or x square minus 60x plus 40x minus 2400 equals to 0, or x minus 60 plus 40 take common here, and x minus 460 is equals to 0, or x minus 60 and another will be x plus 40 is equals to 0. Now you can do either a. So I will be needing this part to be rubbed. Okay, so to simplify more, I'll be needing that part to be rubbed, so I'm rubbing that part. Question, you will be needing question no more. Now either x minus 60 equals to 0, or x equals to 60, or x plus 40 equals to 0, or x equals to minus 40. You just reject this value, okay, because it is in minus sign, so you just reject that. So x represent the cost of vegetables per kg. Yes, so what was the rate of the cost of vegetables last week? Therefore the rate of the vegetable last week per kg was rupees 60. So this is the answer for this I. Okay. Now in double I, by what percent is the rate of cost of vegetables decreased? So for double I, I'll be rubbing this. So you can see the decrease amount this week was decrease amount decrease decrease amount. Actually decrease amount was rupees 20. On what? On rupees 60. Yes, 20 was decrease on rupees 60. So in percentage we write in percentage you write decreased amount. So decreased amount was on 60. So 20 was decreased on 60. So this is a fraction. If you multiply fraction by 100, it will go into the percentage. So I'll rub this. Now you have to express this in percentage. Decrease amount we have 20. 20 decreased on 60. So you write here. Now this becomes 0, 0, 2, 3 to 6, 2, 5 to 10. This becomes 100 by 3%, and this becomes 33.3333%. So this is the answer. So the amount was decreased by 33.33%. So in the back page of the book, I think it is written in improper fractions, in mixed fractions, or you can present in the answer in this way. So after finishing this, let's move on to the number B. Let's move on to the number 15B. So if you have finished this, I'll rub this. So if you haven't finished, then take a screenshot. Okay, I think you can do it by yourself also. And let's try 15B too. Okay, so in 15B, the question goes like this: a piece of cloth costs rupees 800. So the piece of cloth, we don't know how much meter piece is that, but the piece of cloth costs rupees 800. But we also don't know how much longer, how much meter length cloth is that, and what will be the original cost per meter of that piece of cloth. So we are unknown about that. So we have to suppose that two variables with some letters x and y, those two parameters by x and y. Okay, if the price if the piece was 5 meter longer, and the condition is given, if the piece was 5 meter longer and the rate of cost of cloth per meter was rupees 8 less than the original price, the cost would have been remain unchanged. So the cost will be the same, rupees 100. So this is the second condition given in. So in I number, what has been asked is how long is the piece and the original rate of the cost per meter. So the initial original cost has been asked in this question. And in double I, if the piece of the cloth is 4 meters shorter for the same cost, by what percent the rate of cost per meter should be increased? So it is asked in percent. So let's go dive into this question. Now let's go into this solution. So there are two variables, cost and the cost per meter, and the length of the let the original length and cost per meter be original length be x meter and cost per meter be rupees y. Okay, so I have denoted these two parameters by x and y variable. So first condition is, so x meter times the cost per meter is rupees y. So if you multiply, this first condition is, so x meter multiply rupees y, that is equals to rupees 800 total cost of the cloth, piece of cloth. That is xy is equals to 800. Okay, x meter of clothes, the cost of x meter clothes 8 rupees y per meter. 8 rupees y per meter is given by x times y is equals to rupees 800, which gives xy is equals to 800. Or you can write here y is equals to 800 divided by x. So this both we can write I. Okay. Now in second condition, if the piece was 5 meter longer, so this is the length, so you add 5 here. If the piece was 5 meter longer and the cost, this y denotes the cost, and the cost per meter was rupees 8 less, means you have to subtract 8. The cost would have been unchanged, remained unchanged, which means by rupees 800, same amount. Now we can further simplify xy minus 8x minus plus 5y. Yes, xy minus 8x 5y, 5 is 40, so 800. Okay, so xy, from xy you can write, replace the value 800 minus 8x, try to make same variable, 5 times y we have, we can substitute 800 by x minus 40 is equals to 800. You can subtract this 800. Now minus 8x plus 5 8s 40 00 divided by x minus 40. Okay, is equals to 0. Now you can take LCM here. X, this becomes minus x square plus 4000 minus 40x is equals to 0. Now x will just be 0 there, at x square plus wait, just arrange in minus 40x plus 4000 equals to 0. You can take minus 8 common. If you take minus 8 common, this will be x square plus 8 5 is 40 plus 5 5 is 40 00 equals to 0. This minus 8 will diminish with this 0. X square plus 5x plus 500, you just factorize this. So 20 times 5, 500. Okay, I have done some mistake here. So while taking minus sign, this positive will becomes negative. Okay, sorry too. Now you can factorize that. Now 20 times 25, 20 times 25, 500. 25 minus 20, that will become 5 equals to 0, or x square plus 25x minus 20x minus 500 equals to 0, or x plus 25 minus 20 you can take come here, and x plus this becomes 25 is equals to 0. Okay, x plus 25, now inside the bracket x minus 20. You can do either x plus 25 equals to 0 or x equals to minus 25. So this is in minus sign, you just reject this, okay? Or x minus 20 is equals to 0 or x is equals to 20. So x represents the length of the piece of cloth. How long is the piece and the original rate of the cost per meter? So x represents the length of the piece of the cloth. So for x equals to 20, we'll get the value y is equals to 800 by x, which is 800 divided by 20, 2 4s are 8. Yes. Okay. So this x represents the length and y represents the cost per meter. So from that we can conclude. I'll be rubbing this part. Okay, 15b questions, the top questions. So now how long is the piece? The piece of cloth is 20 meter. X denotes the length of the piece. The piece of cloth is 20 meter and the cost is rupees 40. Yes, y represents the cost and the cost is rupees 40 per meter. So this is the answer for I. Okay, now I number answer is finished. Now let's move on to the double I questions. If the piece of the cloth is 4 meters shorter, so this is the original length of the piece. If this piece is 4 meters shorter, which means 20 minus 4, that becomes 16. For the same cost, by what percent is the rate of cost per meter be increased? So if the piece of cloth is decreased by 4 meter, yes, so then by what percent is the rate of cost per meter be increased? Now by how much the rate of cost per meter be increased? Let for this double I, let the cost of the rate, let the rate of cost per meter be increased by I percent. Okay, increase, and I denote the same letter by I increase I percent. So let the rate of the cost per meter be increased by I percent on the initial cost. So then what we can write is, so I'll be rubbing that part. So I'll be needing that space here. So I'm going to rub that. If I have already finished this, if you haven't finished, then you just take a screenshot. I'm going to rub that part. So in order to finish this number double I. Okay, let's move from here to here now. So then from this condition, if the piece of cloth is 4 meters shorter, then you can write the original piece of this 20 minus 20 represents the length of the cloth. 20 minus the piece of cloth is 4 meters shorter, means you have to subtract by 4 here, 20 minus 4, and this cost be increased by I%, then cost be increased by I%. That means 40 plus I% of 40. That will be is equals to rupees with the same cost. That is, what was the cost? What was the cost actually? 800, I think. Yes, 800. Okay, now we simplify this. We have to find the value of I here. So 20 minus 4, 16. This becomes 40 plus I% of 40 is equals to 800. 40 plus I% of 40 is equals to 800 divided by 16, or 40. You can move this 40 to the other side. Okay, I% of 40 is equals to, this becomes 800 divided by 16. 800 divided by 16, 50, I think. 800 divided by 16, 50, yes. So 50, when you move 40 to the other side, it becomes minus 40. Now I% of, you can replace by multiply sign. 50 minus 40, 10. So to remove this percent sign, you can write I. To remove this percent sign, divide by 100 into 40 is equals to 10, or I is equals to 10 divided by 40 into 100. Now I, you will get the value 4, 2 5s are 10, 2 2s are 4, 2 5s are 10. Okay, now you can directly write 25. Yes, it should not be that much. 10 by 40 into 100. Okay, so what happened is 0 0 cut, 425 times 100. Okay, we can write 25. So this is the I represents the increase by I%, which means therefore the cost must be increased by 25%. Okay, after getting the value of I, you just represent by writing percent sign. Okay, so this is the answer for 5B also. Very easy. No, not 5B, 15B. Okay, now let's move on to the number 16 now. I hope you have finished this all. So let's move on to the number 16. Now let's move on to the 16A questions. So in 16A, you can see there, some students of school planned a picnic program. So some students of the school, so we have to consider two variables. Okay, so one variable representing the number of students of the school, and another variable representing the cost, cost per each students they collected. Okay, so the budget for the food was rupees 7,200, but as 4 of them were unable to join the picnic. So the estimation was 7,200 for total students of the schools there, but out of total students, 4 of them were unable to join the picnic. So which means that the cost for the 4 people has to be covered by the remaining who were present in that picnic. Okay, of them unable to join the picnic, the cost of the food for each student has been increased by rupees 60. So beside the plan, So the thing doesn't go according to the plan, so that's why the some due to the absence of 4 students, the cost of the cost for the picnic per each students is increased by 60 rupees 60. Okay, so how many students went for the picnic? So actually how many students went for the picnic? So which means you have to only find out the students who went for picnic. Okay, besides this 4 students, besides this 4 students, these 4 students should be avoided or neglected. So number I questions is like that. And number 2 questions, if one more student join the picnic, then the planning. Okay, so the planning was the total students of the school was the planning. Actually, the original plan was that. So in that original plan, so one students join from the by somewhere out of the school, or maybe somebody request them to join. So if one more student join the picnic, then the planning, by what percent would the cost of each student be decreased? So if one student assist, then the cost will be obviously decreased. So how much, by how much, it is not been asked in the number, numerical value, but it is asked in the percentage. By what percentage would the cost for each student be decreased? Okay, first let's move on to the number I. So some students of school planned a picnic. So let X represents the number of students. Let X represents the number of students, and rupees Y represents REPRE represent the cost of let rupees Y represent the cost per students who are going picnics. So which means, so X number of students, okay, let X represents the number of students and rupees Y represents the cost per student. Then so X number of students and the cost per students is rupees Y. This X multiply Y will cost rupees, the planning was, food of the planning was rupees 7200. So this is the first condition. Okay, that was according to plan. Yes, actually according to plan was like this. So X represents the number of students and Y represents the cost per students. So their footing was X times Y, that is equals to 7200. So actually that was the cost, but okay, or you can also write further this Y is equals to 7200 divided by X. You can write this both is equation I. Now, but second condition is given, as 4 of them unable to join. So out of X students, 4 were unable to join, which means you have to subtract 4 on that total number of students. And because of the decrease in the number of students, now the cost has been increased to each student. How many students are there? So there are X minus 4, and the cost is actually rupees Y at the beginning, but due to the 4 number of students absent, the cost has been increased by rupees 60. You have to add 60 on that Y, and the remaining, the money will be the same, the cost will be the same, 7200. Okay, now we can simplify this. Now this is XY plus 60x minus 4y minus 24 0, yes, 7200. Now replace the value of xy by 7200 plus 60x minus 4. So y can be replaced by 7200 by x minus 240 is equals to 7200. We can cancel this 7200 on both sides. Now 60x minus 4 to the 8, 4 7s are 28. 28 के भन्छ रे भूकम्प आएको हेर त ओए भूकम्प आएको थाहा पाइस Okay, that was a little bit disturbance due to the earthquake. So I thought why I was feeling very dizzy. Actually, it was the earthquake that makes me feel that way. Okay, minus 240 equals to 0. Now you can also take 60 common from this. You can take 60 common. Yes, if you take 60 here common, then the remaining will be x minus divided by 60. It will becomes 480. 480 divided by x minus 4. 4 is equals to 0. Now 60 will go with 0 and the remaining will be x minus 480 divided by x minus 4 equals to 0. Now try to take LCM here. It will become x squared 480 minus 4 times x equals to 0. Now this x will be 0 there, minus 480 minus 4x equals to 0, or x squared minus 4x minus 480 equals to 0. Now you can factorize this. So x squared, how many times? So 480, you can factorize that. 24 times 20. 24 times 20, 480. And 24 minus 20, that will become 480. Now x squared minus 24x plus 20x minus 480 is equals to 0, or x minus 24 plus here you can take 20 common, x minus 24 is equals to 0, or x minus 24 x plus 20 equals to 0. Now you can do either x minus 24 equals to 0, or x equals to 24, or x plus 20 equals to 0, or x equals to minus 20, and reject the value in minus sign. Okay, reject this. Yes, so x equals to 24, you accept this value. So x represents the, so there were 24 number of students there, but instead of 24, 4 were absent, which means how many students went for the picnic? Only 24 minus 4, that means 20. So I'll rub that I need some space there, so this part I'll rub. So x equals to 24. So in a school there were 24 number of students, but the students who went for picnic were where this x minus 4, which means x minus 4, which means 24 minus 4, that is 20. So 20 students went for the picnic. Actually the total number of students there were 24, but only out of 24, due to the 4 students absence, only 20 number of students went for picnic. So this is number I answer. Now let's move on to the number double I. So if you have finished this, I'll rub this, okay? So if you haven't, then just take a screenshot and try to do it later. Okay, I'll go for number double I. So I'll rub this. Okay, for number double I. So there were 24 students, 24, x equals 24, and y means cost per, this is according to the original plan. Now you can get the value of y by, so we have already there x multiply y is equals to how much is that? Y is equals to, I should have already, from I there was 7200 divided by x. This was the equation. Now when x equals to 24, then y is equals to 7200 divided by x, which is 7200 divided by 24, which is 24, 7200, 24, 7200, 24. So this becomes 300. So actually according to the original plan, 24 students has to pay cost rupees 300 of each. So this was according to the initial plan, but the 4 students were absent. So in that situation, only 20 students, and in that situation we don't know how many, yes, the cost will increase by 60. So for double I, for double I, 24 was the students number, and so 24 students has to pay 300 of each student's cost. Okay, 24 students, from each of them they has to pay 300 for the picnic. But if one more students join the picnic, then 24 plus 1, 24 plus 1, if one more students joins the picnic, let's first write, let by what percent would the cost of each students be decreased. Let cost of students be decreased by d%. Okay, then so if one more student is connected here, 24 plus 1, if one more student is added here, then by what percent would the cost of each student be decreased, which means, so let the cost of each students be decreased by d%. That means 300 minus d% of 300. So the money, the cost will be 7200. Now you simplify, this becomes 25. Okay, and this becomes 300 minus d percent of, you can replace this by multiplication sign, 300 and 7200. Now divide this 7200 by 25. This is 300 minus d. You can remove this percent sign. In order to remove that, you have to multiply by divide by 100 on the denominator. You have to replace denominator by 100. Is equals to 7200 divided by 25. Okay, so now let's further simplify. Now this becomes 300 minus d 3d. This 0 cut, and now it becomes 3d. 3 times d is equals to 7200 divided by 25. How much is that? 7200 divided by 25. It becomes 288. 288. You will get the value of d. Now further simplify. 300 minus 288 is equals to 3d, or 300 minus 288. 100 minus 312. 312 is equals to, wait, minus 288. 12. Actually this is 12. 3d, or 12 by 3 is equals to d, or d is equals to 3 4 12. Therefore the cost must be decreased by 4%. So this is the answer for number 15, no, not 15, 16a. This is the answer for 16a. So 16a double I answer. So after finishing this, let's move on to number another number, 16b. Okay, so I'll rub this off.